The British mental health system would like to respond to the absurd positions of this guy Vincenzo, who has gone as far as suggesting that perhaps England does not offer the best practice. How preposterous!
Hello, my name is Vincent, I suppose. I just wanted to provide a counter argument to these ridiculous positions that Vincenzo is putting forward on behalf of all people who believe in the English traditional approach. I'm very disturbed of hearing that he is challenging this idea of the best practice, which, as we all know, is the English practice. We don't just say best practice just because we just feel like it. We actually know that of all places in the world, the best practice is in England. And how do we know this? We know this because our leaders have told us that this is the best practice. And the role of a professional is not to think with their own brain, just think, oh, I don't know, this practice might be better than this. No, that is not what we do. What we are supposed to do is just switch your brain off and just follow whatever the leaders say is the best practice. And this idea that somehow we're just inventing things because the leaders are not wise enough or they just have other interests. This is ridiculous. There is ample evidence to suggest that what we say is best practice is actually the best practice. For example, I know that Vincenzo keeps going on about this silly idea that open doors in crisis services are safer than locked doors. Now, we know that in England we lock all the doors, as many locked doors as we can. We would like to expand them in light of recent tragedies. We thought maybe even more violence would help because it increases for decades of violence against vulnerable people have not created enough safety, so maybe we should do more. But there is ample evidence that actually locked doors are safer than open doors. It's just that we keep them secret. We don't want people to know about them. And we just can only observe the evidence that open doors are safer. But believe me, we know what the best practice is, which is the English practice. So that it's irrelevant what the evidence is, because there's secret evidence that we must know, obviously, because otherwise we wouldn't say anything else. That we know the secret evidence that proves is right, and we're not going to divulge it. Quite frankly. So there you have it. This is, very important for people to know that the English practice is the best practice. Thank you. Bye. Oh, I forgot to mention something that is quite important in this respect. But even if it was true, which it is not, that open doors are safer than locked doors, well, how would we be able to work? I mean, let's say, I'll give you an example, a clinical example. Let's say somebody's just struggling with low mood and they struggle staying at home because they're suicidal. Well, if we didn't lock them up, if we didn't start escalating things as much as possible with care that is not holistic, that is symptom focused, that doesn't care about the reasons for the symptoms, if we didn't do things that would escalate things to the point that we would have to pin them to the floor, inject them with substances, and do basically the best practice, well, how would we be able to do the best practice if things didn't escalate? Well, Vincenzo doesn't have an answer to that because he doesn't have clinical experience. I mean, if he came to my ward and he saw my ward and how badly people present, he would think, well, of course, let's do this. Let's not do things that where people present better and then we can't do best practice.